Now that Maria has the background of the current minimum set-aside elections, she can go through the new average income set-aside election requirements. In March 2018, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2018 established a third minimum set-aside election for new federal housing credit allocations and amended Section 42G1 of the IRS Code of 1986. Owners who choose the average income minimum set-aside election must designate at least 40% of the units at an average of 60% AMI. The 2050 set-aside election means the owner will maintain at least 20% of the residential units at or below 50% AMI and restricts all low-income units at or below 50% AMI. The 4060 set-aside election means the owner will maintain at least 40% of the residential units at or below 60% AMI and restrict all low-income units at or below 60% AMI. Average income set-aside election means the owner must designate and maintain at least 40% of the residential units in the project at or below an average of 60% AMI and sets new federal income limits for low-income units in 10% increments from 20% up to 80% AMI. How is the average income minimum set-aside different? With the average income minimum set-aside, new income limitations in 10% increments from 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, and 80% AMI are included for qualified low-income housing projects. The owner is required to designate their units. Owners can lease designated units to low-income households up to 80% AMI as long as the average of the designated low-income units in the project does not exceed 60% AMI. VHDA must review and approve the unit designations and confirm the average income owner election in the Housing Credit Application Workbook. This is a major change from the original two set-aside elections that are limited to 50% and 60% AMI respectively, as we saw in the previous examples. VHDA reviews the proposed unit designation to ensure a reasonable distribution of income limitations across all unit sizes. Other VHDA minimum requirements for implementing average income in a project include no market units in the project. The average of all designated units must meet the 60% AMI average or less, and the owner agrees to select Line 8B in Part 2 of the 8609 form for multiple building project. Here is an example of the unit mix for a project with the average income set-aside election. Be sure to view our other videos about Maria and to learn more about the average income minimum set-aside election.